Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I am going to teach you the levels of speech act theory. So, I am going to cover what is the speech act theory and level of performing speech acts according to Austin. And by the end of this lecture, you will be able to analyze the level of speech acts of Austin. Now, the first thing is, what is the speech act theory? So, basically, the speech act theory treats an utterance as an act performed by a speaker in a context with respect to an addressee. So basically it means it is an utterance. The speech act is an utterance that is performed by the speaker in relation to any particular context, and it is addressed for an addressee for any particular person. It was far too long the assumption of philosophers that business of a statement can only be to describe some state of affairs or to state some fact, which it must do either truly or falsely. So basically, previously it was considered that the only reason of any language or use of language or any word or any sentence was to describe something or to state some fact, which can be either true or false. But then Austin proved that this is not the case. It can be some other way as well, like for example, things can be performed at the same time when they are spoken. So speech theory attempts to explain how speakers use language to accomplish intended actions and how hearers infer intended meaning from what is said. So basically, this is what is speech theory, and how the language can be used and the intentions can be accomplished through that, through the use of the language. Now, the level of speech acts. Now, according to Austin, performing speech acts involve performing number one, a locutionary act, that is the act of producing a recognizable grammatical utterance in the language. So basically it means that the locutionary act is the act of saying something or anything. Whatever is said is actually the locutionary act. Number two is an allocutionary act, the attempt to accomplish some communicative purpose. So it means that allocutionary act, or we can say that it's the allocutionary force that is hidden behind whatever is said, or the meaning, the intended meaning behind the locutionary act. Is the perlocutionary act, that is the effect produced by the utterance in a given context. So it is basically the effect of the locutionary act when a locutionary force is understood by the listener. Then only that particular person, the listener or the hearer, will perform the action or will reply to whatever is said. So this is basically the effect that is produced by the utterance. So it should be noted that while phonology, syntax and semantics focus on locutionary act, pragmatic focuses on the locutionary act, respect of the speech act, which signifies what the language is being used for in a given situation. So in other words, a locutionary act has meaning. It produces an understandable utterance. An allocutionary act has force. It is informed with a certain tone, attitude, feelings, motive, or intention to achieve a purpose. And a perlocutionary act has consequence. It has an effect upon the addressee. By describing an eminently dangerous situation in a tone that is designed to have the force of a warning, this addressee may actually frighten the addresser may actually frighten the addressee into moving. So basically, whatever is said is locutionary act, that whatever is said, its force or the meaning hidden behind it is the locutionary force, and then the effect that is produced on the addressee is the perlocutionary effects. So basically these three components are not altogether separable. So it means they go side by side in a conversation. We cannot separate these three levels apart. So that's all for today. These are some of the references. Thank you so much.